On this episode of Lapeef, Let's Talk.
It should not be a mandatory all the time thing. I'm saying in certain situations it should be available to them. But in this case of a woman who gets pregnant and has a child out of wedlock, you deserve nothing. You deserve nothing. Only if you're married.
Okay. Okay. Rick Ross agrees to pay $11,000 in child support. What are your thoughts?
I mean, $11,000, he got off, I guess, easy, right? For how much money he makes per month. I think Courtney said something like $600,000. Is that what you said, Courtney?
Almost.
Approximately. So that's like 2% of that. So, I mean, I think that's fine. I think the mother should be happy about that. I don't think she should be seeking more. That's enough to provide a very good life for your children.
You know, honestly, bro, I think that a lot of these women should be mandated to get a job. I don't know if it's legal for a judge to be able to say that. I don't know if a judge can say, hey, ma'am, you're going to have to get a job. But I'm largely, I kind of lean on, I don't even care about the amount. I think that that's too much. I'm going to be honest with you. I think it's too much to give a grown adult in any way, shape, or form child support of $11,000 a month. I don't care how much you make. I don't care if he made $3 million a month and that equated to what is that, $36 million a year? I don't care what it is. I think that is too much, and the cap should be absolutely lower, especially when you take into consideration that we've made significant strides in advocating for equal everything. And so I am largely of the idea that there should be other requirements, such as a time limit by which women should have to get a job in order to be able to come back to the court asking for more money. I don't understand that. And so I don't think in any way, shape, or form that a child's welfare should be tied to how much the person or the man that's paying child support. I don't think it should be tied to that at all. And as a matter of fact, I'm almost, depending on the circumstance, advocating for whoever makes the most money should probably be where the child is residing anyway. So I don't think anybody should be paid to take care of their kids. That's your reasonable service. That's the thing that you're supposed to do as a result of having a kid. So I think that he's paying too much. I think that the judge was grossly unfair in mandating him to pay $11,000 per month. So, you know, I'm not for that at all. Not even a little bit.
Yo, Anton, can I ask you a question? Yo, do you think the government should be involved at all in mandating, the welfare of children in some instances? So say in this instances where you have Rick Ross, like there have been instances where both parties are amicable, and they say, hey, say in Courtney's situation, you talked about it, Courtney, like you guys were amicable and you were taking your father of your child off of child support, and you said, them jokers looked at you like oofy goofy. So I just wanted to get your thoughts, Anton, on do you think the government should be involved in that process?
Yes, 100%, because there has to be things done in an orderly fashion. You can't just have people willy-nilly out here doing everything, because if you want to, the problem is that people involve the government in their business in the first place by not taking care of business and getting married to the person that they're supposed to be married to. So I don't believe that the government should be absolved from participating in the situation. If you have people going to the government asking for benefits, asking for welfare, asking for social programs, then you've involved them anyway. So do I think that the government should be involved as much as the people advocate for them too? And if people can't be adults and come to some kind of amicable, reasonable situation in which they can figure it out amongst themselves or solve for it like grown adults, and they start to get the government involved in it, then they don't have any choice. So should the government be involved? Honestly, based off of the foundation of your question, no, but I think that they don't have a choice, considering that adults don't know how to be adults and be able to figure it out amongst themselves. They're grown enough to have kids, but they're not grown enough to be able to solve for situations when it comes to And largely, I think that a lot of that lies on the doorstep of most women. But in general, adults can't solve for it, and they've involved the government in it, so they don't have any choice but to get involved.
Okay. Amir, Rick Ross agrees to pay $11K in child support for his 3 children. What are your thoughts?
I think this is a prime example of why I said that the majority of the time the children should go to the father. Piggybacking off of Anton, is that the provider is usually the one who should keep the children, because if not, you're in a situation where the one with the lesser money is out, stuck out in the streets with a handout. To avoid that, give the children to the provider. Another thing is that I heard that in PJ Washington's case, he was ordered to pay $160 before taxes, and she ended up getting $140 after taxes. So it's still quite a bit. And in this case, with the 11 grand, I was curious. Does anybody know if she's getting alimony?
They weren't married. They
I
weren't
don't think
married.
that they was. Yeah, they was never married. No.
Oh, so they weren't married. Oh, okay. So that makes it even worse, because in my view, you shouldn't get child support if you're not married anyway. So yeah, I completely agree with Crimson, Anton, and Courtney, I think it was, and Rilla. So yeah, I think that it's too much. I don't think that you should have these privileges if you weren't married to the person. And yeah.
Wait, because that is a thought, and I've never thought about that. So do you think, Amir, if there was no incentive for people to have kids out of wedlock, specifically women like the Brittany Renner and the PJ Washington, right? We're just using it as an extreme example. Do you think that there would be more incentive for people to get married and to raise kids in a stable household if they took away the possibility of child support outside of them being married before they had the kid?
Well, do you remember when we were having this conversation a few weeks ago? And I know my position seems really extreme. I saw comments too, talking about how extreme it was that I said that alimony and child support should not exist. That's kind of what I meant, but also, I mean, in certain situations, this is okay, but it should not be a mandatory all the time thing. I'm saying in certain situations, it should be available to them. But in this case of a woman who gets pregnant and has a child out of wedlock, you deserve nothing. You deserve nothing. Only if you're married.
Okay. Okay. Rick Ross agrees to pay $11K in child support. What are your thoughts?
I mean, $11K, he got off, I guess, easy, right? For how much money he makes per month. I think Courtney said something like $600K. Is that what you said, Courtney?
Almost.
Approximately. So that's like 2% of that. So, I mean, I think that's fine. I think the mother should be happy about that. I don't think she should be seeking more. That's enough to provide a very good life for your children.